Hey, it's me again. Not too long ago, I reached 150 subs, and I planned on making a special about it, but obviously, by my lack of an upload schedule, something has come up. But let's backtrack a little bit. Hi, my name is CityMan69, formerly known as CityBoi22. When I first started my channel back in June of 2021, the first video I did was a crappily made fighters meme with barely any effort put into it, and honestly, I didn't really have anything to record with. No editing software, nothing like that. I was just throwing something together and I posted it. After that, me and my good pal Irrelevant Big Brain started making little Xenoverse videos together. I had hoped to find some success to it and even wished to make money with it, but that was a really high expectation back then. So, at some point, Irrelevant showed me how to edit on a PlayStation app called Share Factory, and that's when I started being really productive. Like, I was making the kind of videos I watched all the time on YouTube. It felt amazing. I loved editing, playing with my friend, but behind everything, there were some problems behind the scenes. This is a disclaimer warning for triggering people with any mental illnesses or unaliving triggers. Without getting in too deep, I was dealing with high amounts of depression in high school. I've never been good at social cues, and I've spent most of my school life in special education, which, for those who don't know, it's a program where kids with mental disabilities go to school away from other school children. And I like to think I was a fairly normal kid. I was diagnosed with ADHD, and knowing what I know now, I really shouldn't have been in there. But back then, I was a stereotypical crackhead, ADHD kind of kid, you know. But the school system thought I had signs of autism and started taking me out of normal classes and into classes with another teacher, which was weird for elementary school. Now, special education teachers and staff are great people, but they seriously put me in specifically the wrong classes. In elementary school, I was spending half of my time in a classroom that would teach me on-level school stuff. You know, third grade, I was learning third grade stuff. But the other half of my time, I was in a classroom where I was given an iPad and I was studied on. I was learning stuff that was 2 levels below my grade. So because of this, I was only learning about half of 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade math, science, education, and, well, social cues. Everyone else was learning the beginnings of long division, beginning algebra basics, and would do multiplications 12 by 12 by memory. But me, on the other hand, I was learning behavioral basics, how to share, how chocolate was made, and sometimes fractions. And only half of my time was learned actually, well, learning what I was supposed to. So, up until freshman year of high school, special education would only literally have me learning stuff like basic stuff. Like, math was capped out at multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. In special education, we were only stuck on the basic maths. We were learning nothing in there. In freshman year, at this point, I was begging my parents to just let me go to normal school. And finally, I was allowed to. For 1 year, it was my freshman year of high school, halfway through, that was when I was finally put off of discharge. I was finally put into normal school. I was no longer having to deal with all the other special education kids. I was dealing with normal kids. And, well, I'm not going to say that I was the best kid in freshman year. I was still pretty weird. But all the other freshman kids were also acting weird and goofy and loud, so I wasn't really that weird at the time. Then, before I knew it, COVID struck. I don't really need to explain here how COVID went, but I wasn't learning anything. It wasn't until late sophomore year, early junior year of high school that I was finally around peers my age. And, well, I was a mess. I was depressed. I was hormonal. I was starting to question why that I couldn't function like other people. Like, I knew other people could start things and finish things and be motivated and go through with stuff. And some people, like, acted normally throughout the entire time. While I chalked it up to hormones at the time and that I would grow out of it, I always wondered why I acted so differently than other people. And because I was acting differently, I couldn't really learn social cues. I was noticing that people would start things. I would notice that other people would, like, talk differently than I would. I was noticing that people would act differently around me. I was noticing that I was getting, well, special treatment. And, well, I didn't really know how to cope with that. I thought a lot of people just straight up didn't like me, which some of the time it was the case, but it was just a general fact that everyone thought I was just retarded. Like, there's another real way to put it. They thought I was dumb. And to their benefit, I was put in special education, so I don't know, maybe I am. But it really didn't sit well with me because I felt normal. As far as I was concerned, I wasn't dealing with autism. I wasn't dealing with Down syndrome. I was just weird. And I wanted to fix that. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this. There's no excuse for the way I acted back in high school, by the way. But around this time, I was a loud, anxious, socially awkward, ADHD-filled introvert that was barely passing school. YouTube and content creation was my only escape. And finally, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was tired. I had spent 2 years at this point failing to mesh together with other kids, and the demons in my head were begging me to give up. So I listened. After I got released from the hospital, everyone I knew from my classes were just being so kind and considerate for me, but it didn't last long. I don't know why. It could have been that they were just genuinely sad to hear that I had tried to do that. Or maybe they were just genuinely trying to, be kind. But from what I understand, they didn't last long. After, like, about a week, they went back to treating me how I was normally treated. And the only difference this time, though, was that in the hospital, I learned to finally will myself to live. And after a while, I started noticing that the demons in my head were kind of Jujutsu Kaisening, jumping my hope to live and my will. And, well, I tried my best. I mean, but that's beside the track. Why am I telling you this? This just sounds like a lot of yapping, a lot of cutting, not really explaining why I'm making this video, and it's not really on topic, right? But let me just give you the conclusion to the context. Recently, I've identified my demons. I've been diagnosed with ADHD, depression, and now I've been diagnosed with PTSD and bipolar disorder, as well as signs of autism. So that's why I was always so moody. I would do something on something. I would do things and I would start things. I would start, like, really cool projects on things I call my high, where I'm energetic, I'm positive, I'm good mooded, I'm goofy. And then because I was on a high, I had to eventually fall. So that point is where I hit my lows, where quite literally I'm always angry. Like, I could just be doing the most basic of tasks and then just be filled with a boiling hot. I don't understand it. To this day, I don't understand why I get so angry. But I was getting, like, uncontrollably mad. So I have highs, I have lows. Now I've identified it, and now I'm taking medication for it. What I'm trying to say is that I'm better off now than I was back then. So the reason why I haven't been posting at all is because I've been focusing on my mental health, but more on top of that, I didn't really need an escape anymore. YouTube was my escape. I made YouTube content to escape my reality, and now my reality is just not so bad, But I mean, I still want to make content. I mean, it's still fun for me. But it's just that I also have fun doing other things. Like, I recently have been learning to make music. I've been also doing a bunch of animations on my second channel. I've been dapping into coding and trying to make video games, though I don't think I'm going to get very far. I opened a shop. I've been doing a bunch of jobs. Like, I've been going to interviews. I've been going around. I've been applying. And, I've been healing myself. So, the point is the channel going to die? Is CityMan gonna die? Honestly, I don't really know. I do know that I've been making a lot of projects in the background, and I've been putting way too high of expectations on it, so I'm just gonna try and sit down and edit it and just post it. But just more than that is when I would put a lot of effort into something, I just wasn't really getting much of a following. And in all honesty, I like at this point, the last couple of videos I did try uploading when I would like have like little like a week or two of like posting uploads, and I would post like pretty decently. I would do live streams and all that kind of stuff. I just didn't have a following. And I may have 152 subscribers right now, as I just saw. I don't have anyone that consistently watches my videos from what I can tell. Like, no one comments. I barely get any likes. And I don't want to try and just do content for the, for the clout. But, I mean, it's still a good motivator. And if I'm not making content for seemingly anyone, what's the point of making it? Like, before I was doing it to have an escape, but now that I'm turning 19 on the 20th of this month, I kind of need to focus on a career. I need to focus on a job. I need to focus on stuff that makes money. And if I'm doing something that doesn't really help me relax and doesn't really, take my energy and make money out of it, then it's kind of hard to keep doing. But with that being said, I'm going to give YouTube one full shot. I'm giving it one full year where I'm going to, try my best. I'm going to dive head first, and I'm going to do the full content creation thing. And I want to see if I can make a following. Starting this January, I'm going to try doing YouTube, not really full time, but I'm going to try doing it at least one upload per month. I know that doesn't sound like much, but hey, Mark Rober makes it work, so, I mean. So, with all that being said, I'll try my best to make YouTube work. And if it doesn't, then, well, no one's going to know this video exists. But if you do end up watching this in the future after I've made it successful, well, I only have one more thing to say. Like, comment, subscribe. I've been taking your time as CityMan69, but now it's time I think I log off. See you later.